Good day everyone. So for today's video, I will discuss or explain to you the game rules of softball part 2. Rule number 5, the game. Choice of turn at bat. The choice of the first or last bat in the inning shall be decided by a toss of a coin, unless otherwise stated in the rules of the organization under which of the scheduled game of games is being played. Regulation game. A regulation game shall consist of 7 innings. A full 7 innings need to be played if the team second at bat scores more runs in 6 innings or before the third out in the last of the 7th inning. A game that is tied at the end of 7 innings shall be continued by playing additional innings or until one side has scored more runs than the other at the end of the complete inning or innings, or until the team second at bat has scored more runs in their half of the inning or inning before the third out is made. Winner of the game. The winner of the game shall be the team that scores more runs in a regulation game. The score of a called regulation game shall be the score at the end of the last complete inning or inning, unless the team second at bat has scored more runs than the first team at bat in the incomplete inning or inning. In this case, the score shall be that of the incomplete inning or inning. The score of a regulation tie game shall be the tie score when the game was terminated. A regulation tie game shall be replayed from the beginning. The score of a forfeited game shall be 7-0 in favor of the team not at fault. Run-ahead rule. A run-ahead rule shall be used at all tournaments and championships. SP only. 15 runs after 3 innings, 10 runs after 4 innings, or 7 runs after 5 innings. Tiebreakers. Starting with the top of the 8th inning and each half inning thereafter, after the offensive team shall begin its turn at bat with the player who is scheduled the bat 9th in SP sa babae. 10th in SP, 11th in SP with an EP or 12 in co-ed SP with EP or EP. In that respective half inning being placed on second base, the player who is running can be substituted in accordance with the substitution rules. Note, if an incorrect runner in the lineup is placed on second base, this error may be corrected as soon as it is noticed. There is no penalty. Pero wala pa rin penalty, ganon. Scoring of runs. 1 run shall be scored each time a runner legally touches first, second, third base, and home plate before the third out of the inning. Exception. When the tiebreaker is used, the runner starting at second base does not have to touch first base in order for a legal run to be scored. A run shall not be scored if the third and or last out of the inning is a result of the batter runner of being put out before legally touches the first base, a runner being forced out including on an appeal play due to the batter become a batter runner. The runner fails to keep contact with the base to which he is entitled until its pitch is released. Rule number 6, pitching regulations. Fast pitch only. Starting the pitch. The pitch starts when one hand is taken off the ball or the pitcher makes any motion that is part of his wind-up. Legal delivery. The pitcher must not make any motion to pitch without immediately delivering the ball to the batter. The pitcher must not use a pitching motion in which, after having the ball in both hands in the pitching position, he removes one hand from the ball, takes a backward and forward swing, and returns the ball to both hands in front of the body. Defensive positioning. The pitcher shall not deliver a pitch unless all defensive players except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's back, are positioned in fair territory. A fielder shall not take a position in the batter's line of vision or with deliberate, unsportsmanlike intent act in a manner to distract the batter. Note: a pitch does not have to be released. The offending player shall be ejected from the game. With a runner on third base trying to score by means of a basta yun na yung note, a pitch does not have to be released. The offending player shall be ejected from the game. Foreign substance. No member of the defensive team shall, or no member of the defense team at any time during the game, be permitted to use any foreign substance on the ball. A pitcher who licks his finger must wipe off his fingers before making contact with the ball. The catcher. The catcher must remain within the catcher's back until the pitch is released. The catcher shall return the ball directly to the pitcher after each pitch, including after a foul or foul ball. An additional ball shall be awarded to the batter. Throwing to a base. The pitcher, after he has taken the pitching position, shall not throw to a base during a live ball while his foot is in contact with the pitcher's plate. If the throw from the pitcher's plate occurs during a live ball appeal play, the appeal is cancelled. Intentional base on balls. If the defensive team decides to have an intentional base on balls awarded to be a batter, either the pitcher, catcher, or coach may do so by notifying the plate umpire, who shall award the batter first base. Warm-up pitches. At the beginning of the first inning, for both teams, or when a pitcher relieves another, not more than 1 minute may be used to deliver not more than 5 pitches to the catcher or another team member. No pitch. No pitch shall be declared when the pitcher pitches during a suspension of play. The pitcher attempts a quick return of the ball. Drop ball. If the ball slips from the pitcher's hand during his delivery, a ball is declared on the batter, and the ball will remain in play, and the runners may advance at their own risk. Illegal pitcher. A pitcher who has been declared an illegal pitcher as a result of the team exceeding the charged defensive conference limit or pitching with excessive speed may not return to the pitching position at any time for the remainder of the game. Rule number 7. Batting. The on-deck batter. At the start of an inning is the lead-off batter, who must remain in his on-deck circle until called to the batter's back. Once an inning has started, is the offensive player who in the batting lineup is the next player to enter the batter's box. May take a position within either on deck circle, so he is behind the batter and not on the batter's open side. Batting order. The batting order of each team must be on the score sheet or lineup card and must be delivered before the game by the manager or captain to the official scorer and the plate umpire. He shall submit it to the inspection of the manager or captain of the opposing team. Batting position. The batter must take his position in the batter's box within 10 seconds after the umpire has declared play ball. A strike is called by the umpire. When any part of a legally pitched ball enters the strike zone before touching the ground and at which the batter does not swing. For each legally, that is for FP. And for SP, for each legally pitched ball entering the strike zone before touching the ground and at which the batter does not swing. Exception. It is not a strike if the pitch ball touches home plate and is not swung at. Ball is called by the umpire. For each legally pitched ball that does not enter the strike zone or touches the ground before reaching home plate is not swung at, touches home plate and at which the batter does not swing. The batter is out. When the third strike is swung or swing at end, miss, and the ball touches any part of the batter's person. Not swung or swing at the pitch ball hits the batter while the pitch is in the strike zone. When a batter enters the batter's box with or is discovered using an altered bat. Note, the batter is also ejected from the game. C. When the batter enters the batter's box with or is discovered using an illegal bat. Note, Section 6BC, the bat is removed from the game. Rule number 8, batter, runner, and runner. The batter becomes a batter runner when he legally hits a fair or foul ball. When the catcher fails to catch the third strike before the ball touches the ground, and there are less than 2 outs and first base is unoccupied, or there are 2 outs. This is known as the third strike rule. Batter runner is out. When the catcher drops the third strike and the batter runner is legally touched with the ball while off base or thrown out prior to reaching first base. When a fielder legally catches a fly ball before it touches the ground or any object or person other than a defensive player. When after hitting a fair ball, he is tagged while off base or thrown out prior to reaching first base. When he fails to advance to first base and instead he enters his team area after a fair ball is hit or after a base on balls is issued or any time that he may legally advance to first base when an infield fly is declared. The batter runner is not out when a fielder makes a play on a batter runner while using an illegal glove. Effect Section 3. The manager of the offended team has the option of A. Taking the result of the play or B. Having the player resume batting, assuming the ball and strike counts prior to the pitch, with other runners return to the base held at the time of the pitch. Runners are entitled to advance with liability to be put out. A. SP only A. When the ball leaves the pitcher's hand on his delivery. B. S for SP only. When pitch ball is batted. C. On a thrown ball is fair batted ball that is not blocked. D. On a thrown ball that hits an umpire. E. When a legally cuffed fly ball is first touched. F. When a fair batted ball. 1. Strikes an umpire or a runner after having passed a fielder other than the pitcher and provide no other fielder had a chance to make an out, or 2. Has been touched by a fielder including the pitcher. G. When a live ball becomes lodged in a defensive player's uniform or equipment. Effect. Section 5AG. The ball is in play. A runner forfeits his exemption from liability to put out. A. If at any time he fails to touch a base, he is entitled to before attempting to make the next base. Exception. If a runner is obstructed at a base preventing the runner from touching that base. Runners are entitled to advance without liability to be put out. When forced to vacate a base because the batter was awarded a base on balls. Effect Section 7A. Runner must return to his base. A runner must return to his base but need to touch the intervening bases. When a batted ball is declared foul, when the umpire declares the ball to have been illegally batted. C. When a batter runner is called out for interference. The runner is out. The runner is out when, while running to any base in regular or reverse order, he runs more than 0.91 meters or 3 feet from the base path to avoid being touched by the ball in the hand or hands of a fielder. B. When, while the ball is in play and he is not in contact with the base, he is legally touched with the ball in the hand or hands of a fielder. C. When on a first play, a fielder, the runner is not out. When he runs behind, or ito yung karagdagan na kanina, when on the first play, a fielder, the runner is not out. When he runs behind or in front of the fielder and outside the base path in order to avoid interfering with the fielder attempting to field the batted ball in the base path. When he does not run in a direct line to the base, provided the fielder in the direct line does not have the ball in his position or possession. When more than one fielder attempts to field a batted ball and the runner comes in contact with the one who, in the umpire's judgment, was not entitled to field the ball. That's all. Thank you.